What's up, Exiles? This is Gemini. This is the Day 4 and Day 5 update of the Crit Elementalist Trapper on the Perandus League. We're currently level 84. We've managed to get a few upgrades. Main thing was I updated my flask. We have Perpetual Granite Flask of Iron Skin, Eternal Life Flask of Staunching, Bubbling Hallowed Flask of Staunching, and then we have a Chemist Quicksilver Flask of Warding and a Chemist Diamond Flask of Warding. This diamond flask is really good because it allows your damage to roll twice, allowing for the better hit to go through. And you can use it more than once. In this case, since I rolled reduced charges used, I can use it almost 3 times. With the changes to the duration on the Quicksilver flask, I'll be using more diamond flasks of warding in my builds. Here we go, we look at the belt. We have some Chaos Res. I've had this for a while actually. I worked in its series step. This one was a tricky one because it required me to get 120 dex. I was sitting at around 112 and I finally picked up this dex node because it leads into Blood Drinkers, some really solid life nodes. I'll pick up this 6% life node next, and then I'll pick up the life node above Cruel Preparation after that. So we're rocking almost 5k life with 1600 ES. I predict the number to go up to 6k life with around 3200 ES in endgame gear. The 5-link Restless Ward is rocking Fire Trap, Trap and Mine Damage, Fire Pen, Ink AoE, and Critical Strikes. Now, I'm going to be switching Ink AoE for Conk Effect for things like Itsiri or some scary boss fights, or maybe even some timed Labyrinth runs. Currently, my best time on a Labyrinth is 5 minutes 37 seconds. There's a lot of room for improvement with faster whirling blades and faster movements. I'll work that out over the week. But right now, I'm working on finishing up some of these challenges, some of the sketchier ones. Now, I am playing the softcore version of the Perandus League, so I promised my viewers that, I would up the ante by doing a giveaway if I died, when I died. I have died one time in the Labyrinth because I was doing a speed run and I hit too many traps trying to rush stuff and I ended up ripping into some impaling spikes. However, that is my only death, and I have run the Merciless Lab on an average of about 6 minutes and a few seconds, and I have run it about 20 times or more. I have been very unlucky with the helmet enchants. Currently I'm rocking increased shockwave totem damage. That doesn't do anything. I'm just fishing for that arc trap chain enchant, or the fire damage to fire trap, or the damage to magma orb. Any one of those would be great. My jewelry on this character currently supplies a lot of my resource regeneration and gives me all stats. So people in the stream keep asking me, well, now that you're using Restless, why aren't you using Dodres? Wouldn't they give you frenzy charges? And the answer is yes, it would. However, I don't feel like it's worth it at this current time because I don't have the frenetic node. That would require me to get this jewel socket to get intuitive leap and get frenetic and infused. With the addition of cool things like Orb of Storms, it allows me to generate maximum power charges on demand. So with the Blasphemy Assassin's Mark, this allows me to generate power charges when I get kills with burning damage or when I get kills with Herald of Thunder, because that counts as damage that I give out. So the Restless Ward is still great because it doubles my charge duration for both my endurance charges, which I self-cast Enduring Cry, and then we have the automated power charges. And if I really want to ramp up my max power charges, I can just use Orb of Storms with power charge on crit. It is worth noting that none of the uniques that I use are necessary. However, they are suggested and they are very cheap. Divinarius enhances the AoE of my skills. Restless extends my defense, both evasion, energy shield, keeping up my endurance charges, giving me life regen per endurance charge, soon to give me movement speed per frenzy charge. The Itsiri step offer great evasion, good life, great movement speed, and spell dodge. And in this case, I have successfully enchanted my Itsiri step with 6% additional spell dodge if I've taken spell damage recently. So I have two things working for me reactively. We have the Paragon of Calamity. For each element you've been hit by damage of recently, 40% increased damage of that element. For each element you've been hit by a damage of recently, 8% reduced damage of that taken of that element. So if I take fire damage, let's say from a titty bitch, then I'm increasing my fire damage and I'm taking reduced fire damage from enemy monsters. This would also help with reflection damage, however I take very little reflection damage. The only things that can reflect on this character are the Herald of Thunder Thunderbolts and my Orb of Storm's Power Charge on crit. Both of those have very low damage thresholds, so I'm not worried too much about the reflection damage. I plan on doing some sketchy challenges, including Itsiri and some other stuff in my next stream. Feel free to catch me live on twitch.tv/HegelemenTV, and if you guys have any further questions, don't forget to check out the view thread in the description below, or you can ask me when I go live, or you can post them in the YouTube comments section. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.